Johnson Simpson and Miss Jackie Dozier. They are the only people here for this particular race, so we will give them a few questions. They have about 5 questions with a wrap at the end, and all candidates will have a 1-minute wrap at the end of the forum to kind of wrap up and wrap all their thoughts together. So we'll go ahead and get started with the school board candidates, if that's okay. Miss Barbara Simpson Johnson, I'll give you the first question, and then Miss Jackie Dozier, I'll give you the same question. Is your mic ready? Perfect.
Hello.
All right, your first question is, what is Common Core and what is your position on this issue? You have 1 minute.
Common Core. In my studying of Common Core, it is a practice that came about with the government where it says that the students have a certain learning style to come through the teacher, which it provides them to do certain like English, math, and a certain curriculum at a certain time. And they do that every day on the basis of this is done to help them with the testing, so when they do take the test, that they will be prepared to take that particular test. So that is my take on Common Core, and I've had a lot of insight from the teachers on Common Core. It's really something that they are not really comfortable with, that the kids are not really detaining or anything, so that's something that I think that we should take a look at.
Same question, what is Common Core and what is your position on the issue, Ms. Dozier?
Common Core is a group of standards. The teachers have to, if they teach certain maybe curriculum items, they can reach a certain basic, then they can go to another level, and then they can get a mastery. And so they have a rubric that they use in order to match their teaching their target lessons to. One of the challenges that I have with Common Core, and Common Core has been used to replace our LEAP and iLEAP tests, and so at this point, if we don't use the Common Core, we have nothing. So one of the important things is that, one of my challenges is that if you have a 1 or 2 year teacher who's trying to get her children to mastery, and she's going to teach us a list of, try to reach all of these things out of the rubric. And this is a 1st or 2nd or 3rd year teacher that might be relatively inexperienced, then she's going to have a problem with coming up with it.
You can keep the mic there. Whenever we run out of time, you'll hear a little alarm here, and you'll have to finish that thought. Thank you so much for that. The second question for Ms. Johnson Simpson is, education is at the core of economic development in most American cities and towns, yet little is ever mentioned about this fact in any school board meeting, city council meeting, or parish commission meeting. Do you have a platform idea that will address the link between education and economic development? If so, what is it?
My address to that is economic development. You really can't have economic development without the school system. If we're having a failing school system, then it's hard to bring companies here to want to relocate here, that we can have the economic development to grow. So with that being said, that we need a solid foundation in the school board because we're graded as a whole. We are set up in districts where we're graded as a whole. So with that being said, that economic development education plays a vital part, because of the fact that if your educational system is not up to par, then you won't get economic development.
Ms. Josie, would you like for me to repeat the question?
Yes.
The question is, education is at the core of economic development in most American cities and towns, yet little is ever mentioned about this fact in any school board meeting, city council meeting, or parish commission meeting. Do you have a platform idea that will address the link between education and economic development, and what is it?
I'm a small business owner, and economic development means growing our businesses, growing our, employing people, ensuring that they pay taxes so we can run our cities. If the individuals don't know how to read, write, have wisdom, critical thinking, then we're going to have a problem with employing those type of people and attracting businesses and industries into this. We're a service industry. We need to be more technologically astute and have other kind of businesses that are going to prepare us for the 21st century employment. So unless our children know how to read, write, have critical thinking, analyze, have some wisdom in some decisions that they make. And I've employed people before and they were horrible. And so I had to spend a lot of time reteaching. And so it's going to negatively impact our economic situation here in the city because like I said, if we don't have children who are able to do all of those things, we're going to be in trouble. We have a hard time already attracting industries here.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next question. The education of a child involves more than just a qualified educator teaching a student, for it truly takes a village to raise a child. Therefore, parents, alumni, and the community play a critical role in the education process. If elected, what will you do to make the village concept of educating children in our community a reality? Ms. Simpson, Johnson-Simpson.
One thing that I would like to implement is we probably have to go from the norm of doing things outside of the norm, such as programs. We have the working class people that are working, so with that being said, students need to be able to, parents need to be able to be involved with their kids. So we probably have to implement programs like on Saturdays that we can get the parents involved and the community involved to be able to help the kids along the way, because after all, we're about accountability, accessibility, and academic achievement. With that being said, that's things we're gonna have to think outside the box that we can bring everybody to the table, because it does take a village to raise those kids. And one of the things that I saw that work is the after school tutorial programs. Some are implemented on Saturdays, which are a good thing. We're just gonna have to do things that we know that can bring all of us together, that we can work as one in the community for the children.
Ms. Dozier, would you like me to repeat the question?
Would you please?
The education of a child involves more than just a qualified educator teaching a student, for it truly takes a village to raise a child. Therefore, parents, alumni, and the community play a critical role in the education process. If elected, what will you do to make the village concept of educating children in our community a reality?
For those of you who have a flyer, you'll probably see bullet number 2, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and the 6th one. We'll address that, and I'll just sum it up for you. I'm a nonprofit management consultant. I've been working in the MLK area since 2005. A lot of the nonprofits in this area, I helped to build the capacity of those by helping them to file for their tax exempt status. I'm a grant writer. I'm also responsible for a lot of the 21st century after school programs. And each one of those programs, and the most recent one is for Church of Christ, Russell Road. And each one of those programs, I ensure that there's built into just that aspect of a family, parent involvement aspect of it. But this community is just replete with organizations, with concerned citizens, with businesses, and that really, at the core, they really want to do something about coming together and working together in order to address this issue. And so as a parent, I've raised 5 children who went through public school, and I've given back. I tutor at Newton Smith. I also substitute teach at Green Oaks High School, and so I think we have the capacity. All we need is someone to pull us together. And I do a lot of collaborations and coalition building and everything for the my nonprofit organizations that I work with as is. So I have the skills, I have the experience, I have the contacts, I have the partnerships already. It's just a matter of pulling those things together for this district and making it happen.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to the next question. What is your knowledge of the budget breakdown of the Cattle Parish school system? And can anything be done to generate more revenues to enhance the education experience for our youth? 1 minute on this question.
I would have the administration to explore grant opportunities that will be better used for the salaries and the positions. This money was specifically go to the students, what the students need, and not what the administration. The budget for this school year and the next 2 years is already being projected to be. Projected to be. So that therefore, we would look ahead so that we can have that looked into, so we can have all that done. The money will be specifically used for tools that the students can use tangibly, and the budget for this school year, like I said, is already being projected, so we would go into looking for the next particular year.
Ms. Dozier?
Yeah, as Ms. Simpson said, the budget has already been approved for this school year. There's extra taxes going to funding our school district. A lot of people may not know that a lot of our students that are in special ed, their parents are getting extra checks, and so is the school district. And a heavy part of our and I don't remember the exact percentage of the budget, depends on special ed students. And so one of the things that we need to do is stop letting them pigeonhole our children in special ed classes. I'm a grant writer. I wrote the Cattle Parish after-school program for $800,000. I've written multiple millions of dollars worth of grants. I understand the federal, the state, and the local level. And so there's other ways that we can supplement that budget other than always trying to target African American, primarily males, and making a budget out of this increase of finances that we get from that. And in addition, we need to teach our children citizenship, as well as parents. Go to work, pay your taxes, don't cheat on them, because those taxes go into funding our kids.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to the next question. Given the fact that the MLK area is the largest community in the city and still growing with new housing, what is your position on school closures in the MLK area? And do you have a plan for restoration of our area schools with this growth? 2 minutes on this question.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Sure. Given the fact that the MLK area is the largest community in this city and it's still growing with new housing, what is your position on school closures in the MLK area, and do you have a plan for restoration of our area schools with this growth?
With that being said, when people move into our community, populations increase, and when populations increases, we need more schools. The census data tell us that when that happens, it has been a slight shift in the population when we have closure of schools. Unfortunately, it's not a whole lot we can do about that. We can advocate for additional programs and course offering to try to keep our students there in the particular schools in this area. If we offer these programs in our very district, then we can probably keep those kids here in the aforementioned district. So with that being said, I would think that with the population declining and the kids going out of the district, that we could probably keep the kids in the district and not have the school closed.
Ms. Dozier?
Would you repeat that for me?
I sure will. Given the fact that the MLK area is the largest community in this city and it's still growing with new housing, what is your position on school closures in the MLK area, and do you have a plan for restoration?
Dr. Gorey made a presentation to our district, Newton Smith, I think was in May. What he did tell us is that schools are driven by population and by children. And there's been a decrease in the number of the children that are in this district. And then 300, and I think the number is 41 of our high school children have been moved out of this district and sent to Northside. So that left a big hole in Green Oaks, and they had to fill it by closing other schools. But what's happening right now, and my plan is to wait on Dr. Gorey. He has hired a demographer who's going to look at the population ebbs and tides over the last several years. Has closed down Newton Smith and their facilities management place, and then of course we know Lanier is gone. But they're not totally shut down. It's not a possibility that they'll never be resurrected again. So we're waiting on the report from the demographer to see kind of what the projected plan is for the future. And I think if we have buildings, we don't have enough children there to utilize them, it will justify closing them. So we'll just have to wait and see, and then I'm going to support them.
All right, that is the end of the question session for the school board candidates. We'll allow you 1 minute to wrap up, and you can tell us a little bit about yourself and your overall platform. Again, that's 1 minute. We'll start with you, Ms. Johnson-Simpson.
I am Barbara Johnson-Simpson. I have worked as a director of the Salvation Army Women and Children Shelter, as a governor appointee to the Northwest Human Service District Board. I saw the need to embrace the students of Caddo Parish, to transition from a desperate means to a can-do spirit. I've had a vision to run for this particular office since being in 7th grade in the Caddo Parish School. I would love to represent District 2. It would be an honor and a noble glory to be able to do that. I have visited with a lot of people in the district and asked their needs or asked their wants. Many of the citizens state they want a positive change. My vision is to focus on accountability, accessibility, and academic achievements. We have too many failing schools in this district. We need a triangular relationship, a relationship that consists of representation from the school board.
I'm sorry about that. We are out of time. Ms. Dozier, will you give us a 1 minute wrap about yourself and your platform, please?
My name is Jackie Dozier. I want you to give me your confidence to be the next school board representative for this district. The best indicator of what a person will do is what they've already done. I've been in this community since 2005, after-school programs, tutoring, substitute, helped Ms. Rogers bring back the MLK parade again, and many, many other things. I've already been here, I'm already working, I'm doing it, and so I want you to give me your confidence. Put me in this seat, you'll see a difference. It's not what I'm going to do, it's just an expansion of what I've already done. Give me your vote, I really appreciate it. Jackie Dozier. Number 145 on the ballot.
All right, let's give these candidates a hand.